Welcome back to another thrilling episode of Go Fuck Yourself podcast.
I'm sorry, Bella. It is folk.
That is what I said.
Try it again from the top.
I am the organ. I am the organ. Shut up, you thrall. Welcome back, boys and ghouls, to Go Fuck Yourself podcast, rated E for explicit, where they say things that are very naughty indeed. You will watch the little ears as I feast upon the blood of the innocent.
Can we go ahead and cut that?
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to another deep bulking episode where we diverge from our state content and go into something completely random but tangentially related.
Yep.
Tonight we've got Brett talking as well as
me, Ethan.
And me, Nick.
wonderful.
Hi, I'm Nick.
Another B team exclusive.
Yeah,
All right.
B-team.
Because this would be great. That's what it is.
That's right.
That's-
That's right. You guys love these.
Yeah.
And we know that from our numbers. So thank you for helping us outshine everybody else.
10 of listeners love us.
Tens of you.
Yes.
Dozens of you,
There are
literally.
dozens of our loyal followers.
Wonderful. What I wanted to talk about tonight was an experience that I had within the last couple weeks. I actually got the opportunity to travel with my dad to go see Gettysburg Battlefield,
Wow.
as well as Antietam Battlefield up in Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Now, for you international listeners,
This is big.
this is a big deal.
Yeah,
Gettysburg is where we defeated the Nazis.
basically.
South Nazis.
This is
Original South Nazis.
the So for you guys that are in overseas,
Yeah,
the
pull
American
out your
Civil War
maps.
happened, in the 1880s, and Gettysburg
The
is
1860s.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is it wrong one?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
Fucking redacted. I was just there.
All right, you know
Obviously,
what?
I was paying
Cancel,
more.
Cancel
Cancel
this. Give it to Ethan. Ethan, tell us about the time
Tell
you
us
went to
about
Gettysburg
that.
with your dad.
So me and old Pappy Jarnigan. No, I have no idea. I don't know shit about Gettysburg.
I can't even spell Gettysburg.
So it was the largest
How many
battle.
T's? Four? Five?
What's that?
How many T's?
Gettysburg?
5,
Two.
6? Oh, right.
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg.
So it's in
It's
Pennsylvania.
Germanic.
It is. Yeah.
Ironic,
Because of
given-
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly.
All the Germans in there.
The biggest battle fought on American soil in American history.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this was for the American Civil War,
Yes. And it was
Nice.
the good guys, the North, versus the bad guys, the South.
you know? That's,
Wow,
you know?
controversial opinion. Let's see where this
Wow.
goes.
That's I didn't know you were a Southern traitor, Brett.
That's correct. I am a Southern trader.
Wachula Brett himself
From a-
versus the North.
From a long line of other
Traitors.
traders.
Same. It's
Same.
weird.
For those of you living in, not America, that's an
Please take us
often-
in. No.
often conflicting thing that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's really funny coming from, as the only one actually that grew up in the North, above
Right.
the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
When
Ugh.
I learned about the Civil War, it was very much like, we did this, we won this battle, they blah, 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 and then we won.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, you got like a really big sense of pride. Like, this is such a big win for our country.
Yeah.
And then I moved here, and there's like fucking Confederate flags
Yeah.
everywhere, and I'm like, I have never seen the losing team display with such pride.
I know. It's wild, isn't it?
It's so crazy. Even when they're like, oh, it's pride, not, whatever, heritage,
Yeah.
not whatever. And I'm like, no.
No, it's a
Yeah.
racist symbol.
It is.
For sure. And
Absolutely.
even if it wasn't, it's racist.
It is now, yeah,
Yeah.
because not to derail us too much,
Right.
but for American history, a lot of these schools and all these statues celebrating these Southern, generals, those were built in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s.
Yeah.
Coming up on 100 years after the Civil War was over,
Yeah.
and you can see, in the
Wait a minute. You mean around the time of the
Jim
civil
Crow
rights movement?
Yeah, it's
like
almost
the
like
Jim
there
Crow
was a-
laws and the Jim Crow South.
So
Ugh.
it gets a little weird. For example, there's a school in Orlando called Stonewall Jackson Middle School.
Guess what you got to do to get in?
Yeah, and in
He's
the
a Confederate general. For
Yeah.
those of you Europeans listening to the
oh
show.
shit, that's right. Yeah, so he was a Confederate
Also
general.
for Americans in the public school system.
Yeah, who sometimes forget. Yeah. Stonewall Jackson Middle School. In the minutes for the opening of the school, the meeting minutes, they say they are naming the school Stonewall Jackson because they don't support desegregation.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this school opened in the 40s or 50s, I want to
Yeah.
say. And in the very meeting minutes, they say the whole reason they're naming it after a Confederate general was because they didn't want black kids going to the school with white kids.
And
Isn't that nuts?
it is not nuts to me,
It
honestly,
should be, but it's not.
because I've lived in the South my entire life.
Yeah.
I've traveled extensively throughout the South. Every member of my family is from the South.
My granddad
Yeah.
is Nathan Bedford. Forrest.
Yeah, my like ancestors
Yeah.
all fought as the bad guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so this is a really difficult trip because for me, like knowing that my family history is all
Yeah.
on the, baddies side.
Are we the
We're
baddies? Yeah.
Like it was interesting because I got to go and see a lot of things that I've only read about, watch movies about,
Right.
and see it in person. And it's one thing to go and read it, and it's one thing to look at it on a map.
Or listen to Ken Burns talk about it.
I've watched that twice.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's such a good documentary.
It's amazing documentary.
This episode
Uh,
brought to you by Ken Burns.
Thanks, kid. We
Zoom in and then
appreciate it.
zoom out.
Man, he knows what he's doing with that computer program.
Ooh.
I love iMovie.
Me too. But it was an incredible experience to see the battlefield in person because I've never been on like an actual battlefield before, and to have my dad, who's a huge Civil War buff, there was huge. This was like a bucket list item for him, and I will always be grateful for the chance to have gotten to do this with him.
Oh,
But
that's
contentious.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So my dad's a big armchair like Civil War historian.
nice. Sure.
He's
We have one of those too. We call him Ethan.
Yeah.
And Dan K, really.
yeah.
I think it's a requirement. You become a dad, and suddenly you're really
Like-
into certain parts of history.
Yeah, I think so.
It's either World War II, one, or the Civil War.
Yeah.
Or if you're up north, probably the American Revolution.
I was going to say, I'm
Probably.
a big Vietnam guy.
Yeah.
Really?
No. But
but
the revolution, yeah, that is actually very
Right.
accurate. They're like, well, you can go 20 minutes away and watch, see where this happened.
I would love to do that.
It's really
Yeah.
cool.
What I discovered
Mhm.
is that Gettysburg, even though I've seen maps of it, I've read about it
Sure.
in preparation for the trip, the shit's only like 4 miles wide.
Oh, yeah. Very
Really?
small.
That's like
Oh, I had.
super small. And it's
Wow.
in a very well maintained national park.
Yeah.
You would love it if you
Oh,
haven't
I
been
bet.
to it.
God, I haven't
Uh,
been. I have not been.
It is beautiful. It
Mm.
is like sad, like incredibly sad.
Yeah.
Very powerful place.
Wow.
And it was one of the most exciting historical experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
And we also went over to Antietam because that was like 20 minutes from where we were staying,
Mhm.
which is the single bloodiest day in American history.
Right.
So there's in the South called Battle of Sharpsburg, not Sharksburg.
Damn, Sharksburg sounds
Right.
so cool.
And then
Welcome to Sharksburg, motherfucker. Toss 'em.
Roll
Tide. Roll Tide. Love it. And on the northern side, of course, called the Battle of Antietam, because that's
Right.
the winner of the battle
They
picks
get
the
to
name.
pick the name. We'll see.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
And
Sharpsburg.
so that battlefield is 3 miles wide.
Wow.
It's even smaller. And it was just wild being there on site
Yeah.
and to actually see this stuff in person. So
Mhm.
I'll start with Antietam because it's smaller and
Sure.
then go into Gettysburg.
Okay.
And then I got to drag my dad on a ghost tour, which is why I really wanted to talk about this stuff with you
Beautiful.
guys.
Yeah.
So Antietam, 3 miles of fucking cornfields. Like
Wow.
no shit. Like there's an it's also a national park.
Okay.
And they have an observation tower on site
Mhm.
that you can literally see all the edges of the battlefield
Oh,
because
cool.
it goes up like 180 feet and the land is like rolling hills and you can actually see
where they walked into the battlefield because they've
Wow.
cut paths that show where the troop movements went. And
That's cool.
it's super cool.
This is really like a living memorial.
It
isn't
really
it?
is.
Wow.
And the observation tower is built on the end of a natural trench that runs the length of the battlefield.
See, who said World War I was the first one to use trench warfare?
Well, this
Yeah.
thing was already there. It was a fucking ox cart path that
Oh, wow.
they had just used so much that it
Hmm.
actually sunk in.
Hmm.
It was called the Sunken Road. And
Very appropriate name.
Yeah, the Confederates used it as a trench to fire into the cornfield from. And like when I
Nice.
tell you,
That's
like
smart.
this fucking cornfield is like 20 feet from this thing.
Wow.
And there was like 3 regiments of Union soldiers that just blundered into it and
Shit.
just get mowed down upon entry into the battle.
Mhm.
And it was a bunch of guys that had just started like 2 weeks prior
Oh God,
and
that's
didn't even
tragic.
go through basic training.
Yeah.
And they encountered like the fucking like veteran squads of the Confederacy in this trench.
Yeah.
And they just get mowed down. And then throughout the battle, the Union Army realizes there's a trench here, and they pivot around and then actually end up at the end of it and just fire straight down this
Oh,
trench
man.
and just
Fuck.
wipe these guys out.
I can see how this was the bloodiest day. In
Right.
Yeah.
And I got to talk to one of the park rangers, which was really cool. And basically they did the math on it, and one person died. So the battle was only like 4 hours long. One person died there every like 11 seconds.
Oh my
Fuck.
God.
Yeah, and it's like it's woods with a cornfield in the middle of it with this natural trench and then some fucking farmhouses.
Wow.
And it was just wild to see all this stuff. And then over in Gettysburg, across like a 4-mile stretch,
Mhm.
this is like the biggest battle in American history that decides the
Right.
outcome of the Civil War. That one is just incredible because, again, you have like rolling cornfields, wheat fields,
Yeah.
a peach orchard, and then like a fucking small mountain,
Wow.
which is wild. And that's where the Union retreated to and held the high ground to basically win the battle.
Like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, they Obi-Wan to the south.
The high ground.
And one of the coolest experiences of that was my dad has always wanted to walk or to actually see where Pickett's charge happened.
Yeah.
Because that's like, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with like Civil War history, the farthest north that any Southern unit got. And it was a 12,000 man charge that killed about 7,000 of them.
Jesus.
And let me tell you guys, like, I made my dad hop a fence and walk this so that we could see it, like, and do it ourselves.
Wow.
That's
And
cool.
it was really cool.
Oh.
So that is just a full-on mile, like 1.25 mile walk from essentially woods
Mm-hmm.
up a hill
Yeah.
that had an artillery battery on it.
Oh, man.
With like 2 fences, a road that's raised up in the middle of it that's at like the mile mark. And these guys had to walk from the woods getting shelled all the way to where they get to this road that's raised up. You can't see over it. Had 2 fences on either side that they got stuck on. And by the time they got to the road, the riflemen could hit them.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, yeah. And they just get decimated.
yeah.
So that was like insane to like walk that path and like actually see it. So it was one of the most like powerful
I bet.
history experiences I've ever had. It was really weird kind of talking to my dad through the whole thing.
Yeah. What
'cause,
did he
like,
think of it?
To him it was like deeply depressing. Because you know he's like old school Southern guy,
right.
Mm.
loves Southern history
Yeah.
and loves Confederate history and all that stuff.
Sure.
I don't think that he's ever thought about it critically.
Probably not.
and
I
it's-
have family in a similar way where it's
Yeah.
more complicated than just
Yeah.
fighting for slavery, which
Right.
is what they were
Which is
doing.
what they were fighting for.
It was in their minds it was more like fighting for their
For their home and
Home?
for their home,
Home.
for their state. Because I
Yeah.
mean, back in the 1860s, we weren't even 100 years old yet. So in their
Right.
mind, it was the equivalent to the American Revolution,
Yeah, exactly.
an oppressive government
Yeah,
overreaching.
yeah. And then Nick,
Oof.
as you brought up, talking about it in the North,
Mhm.
it's very much we won.
Yep.
In the South,
Right.
it feels very much like, oh, we lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, thank God, yes.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But
it's tricky. Yeah.
it's a very hard thing to like grapple with, especially as like father and son
yeah.
doing this, because like I'm like fucking stoked. I'm seeing all the shit I want to see, which is Little Round Top, which is the little mountain thing on the battlefield where the Union were, and then going to see the fucking 20th Maine, which is like their monument is incredible. They basically defended the slopes of this mountainside, ran out of ammo, and then their fucking captain was just like, well, fuck it, help's not coming, charge, boys. And they run downhill with bayonets and swords.
Holy smokes.
And fucking fend off the evil Alabamans.
That's how I feel every day.
Yeah.
But they get like, and this is like a group of like basically like public school teachers, doctors, lawyers.
Right, not soldiers, just regular.
Yeah.
Like true militiamen, really.
Yeah, basically like they're like volunteer militia essentially.
Yeah.
And getting to see the 1st Minnesota, they start the battle with 700 guys. They finish the battle with like 17.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
And they're the ones that captured the Confederate battle flag that's now so contentious.
Yes,
because
I've heard about that.
Yeah. I wanted to see where they were.
Yeah.
These guys were at the fucking head of like every major. They just happened to have bad luck of the draw and placement and have been at every single, like, so Gettysburg's a 3-day battle.
Mm-hmm.
Day 1 of the battle, they're not there.
Right.
Day 2, they're at the thick of the fucking fighting.
Yeah.
And they get reduced by half. Day 3, they're at the fucking head of Pickett's charge.
Wow. So the story with that is they took the Confederate battle flag.
Yes.
And it's now still
It's in the Minnesota's like state governor, or it's like the state capital of Minnesota, and they refuse to give it back.
Yeah.
Which is still
because the state is it Virginia or
it's either Virginia or Alabama
Georgia or something like that.
Yeah, one of the southern states want it back.
They keep asking for it back, and the people in Minnesota are
Can I have
like,
my
no.
flag? No.
Hey, can we? That's a historical flag. And Minnesota's like, fuck you,
Fuck
guys.
you. We took it. And
which is respectful. I'm
well,
like,
when you consider how many of them died to get the damn thing,
I'd be like, no, man.
Yeah. So that was like insane to see like these two specific places.
Yeah.
And then like, it made like a really weird dialogue for my dad.
Yeah.
Because I'm like stoked on seeing these two Federal Army monuments.
Right.
Which is like, to me, like the best 2 parts of the battlefield.
Yeah.
And so like we had a weird father-son talk.
Yeah.
And I think I made progress.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't talked to him since.
No, we've talked regularly, but no, it was a really
like kind of explaining the
like my view on it, and then like talking to him about like the lost cause mythos, which I'm sure that's something you've read about, Ethan.
Oh yeah.
For those of you that don't, are familiar with like historiography, the study of how history is told.
Yeah, it's interesting. We as a collective country shit the bed with Reconstruction, and we kind of I don't want to say we let the South, because you don't let the South do anything.
Right.
They just kind of,
God damn it.
Yeah. Basically, we let these states, hero worship.
Yeah, they can kind of control their own narrative.
Yeah,
on it.
so they've been able to change the narrative for years and years and years. It's also interesting because racism, doesn't exist in the North, is what the narrative has become for the northern states, which, as Nick can attest to, very much so does exist.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting where South is the only place where racism has ever existed, and it's only the South, and racism is all up in the North and all up in the West. And so the South has been vilified and pushed down so much that now it's become this, the rebel cause. And we're now hero worshiping Robert E. Lee, who he himself said, "This is
look at me, basically."
Yeah, don't do that. This is it's a tragedy. It's absolutely a tragedy.
Yeah.
That so many Americans died killing other Americans for such a terrible
cause. Like,
it's just absolutely horrible. And in this, not to defend the South, but it's one of those things where their entire economies were based off the backs of slavery, and it never should have
the most
gone
extreme
that far.
form of authoritarian capitalism, which is scary.
Exactly.
And where labor is worth nothing.
Yeah.
And like that's like in a socioeconomic sense,
It's insane.
Fucking frightening.
Yeah, and so not to become a super duper socialist all of a sudden, but
Feel free.
Yeah,
Trust me, convince more people.
The South was taken hostage. The collective, conscious of the Southern white people were taken hostage by a very small number of incredibly wealthy other white people, where they're saying, "Oh, you're better than the slaves simply because of the color of your skin, despite that you're poor and despite that you're uneducated. And,
Yeah.
and we're not going to help you whatsoever. And then, okay, now fight this cause for us to defend slavery."
Because it's like it's pride in like where you live and your state's right to choose.
Yeah,
and all this
exactly.
stuff.
And we're seeing it again now, where it's the South is like, no, I don't. The poorest fucking state is represented by, Kentucky is represented by Mitch McConnell and Rand fucking Paul.
Right. Fuck that.
Who are laughing their way to the bank while Kentuckians.
It's just history
die.
repeating itself.
Yeah, and so it's really, really the whole Civil War is just so fucking tragic. It should have.
Never happened.
It shouldn't. I wish they hadn't put off, getting rid of slavery. I wish slavery had never happened, first off. But it's just so. It just went
It was
on
a
for
political concession in the American Revolution that should have been addressed head on.
I wish John Adams had a
miniseries about it.
Yeah,
on HBO.
I wish John Adams and other
Yeah.
abolitionists had fought stronger for it against the slave owners like Jefferson, Madison, Washington.
Absolutely.
You know.
That could have avoided a lot of things and made America a better country.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but woulda, coulda, shoulda.
You take a shortcut, and guess what?
Yeah, exactly.
Hindsight's 20/20, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
But they knew that it was brewing, because a decision had to be made.
Yeah, even in Hamilton the musical, there was that cut song that kind of talked about it. Do you remember that? Do you remember that one?
I haven't listened to it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, where it's talking about how Benjamin Franklin himself was like, "We're gonna get rid of slavery. This is gonna bite us in the ass," and then. Sure
of
enough,
course, he could see it coming. He had bifocals.
So I bet big. Sorry for the long tangent.
No, that was great.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
But you're absolutely right. It is kind of. I bet your dad is dealing with a lot of really complicated feelings.
Yeah, definitely. I could only imagine what it's like to be him. And then also to have your son be like, "Oh, I don't think that narrative is correct whatsoever."
Exactly.
And be like, "Yeah, based on you love history, I love history.
Yeah.
Your history is probably 20 years old.
Yeah.
My history is current,
constantly updated.
Yeah, constantly
changed and real.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so that was a weird dinner conversation.
I bet.
Ended on a positive note, which was I could totally see that because we talked about socioeconomic status. And Reconstruction and then Jim Crow, and then I think I actually made a dent in his perspective.
I would love
which
that.
is great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that it has opened the door for more conversations.
Good.
Because we want to go to other Civil War battlefields.
Yeah.
Which means I'm going to have the opportunity to talk to him more.
Yeah.
And change his mind, which is great.
I would love that.
That is awesome.
I'm very optimistic about it.
I will say in the 70s, the whole Rebel and Dixie thing came back
in the music and in the pop culture. Yeah. And that's him. That's him. He's from the 70s.
So the Dukes of Hazzard, what
what the fuck?
The fuck was going on with that? Right?
Yeah, it was super weird. So the best part, again, outside of this political and historical discussion that I was able to have, was actually dragging his ass on a ghost tour.
Yeah.
Spooky, scary
Give me them ghosts.
Give me them ghosts, boy. And so I had to have...
We just heard a collective sigh of relief from all of our listeners that went, "Oh, thank God, ghosts."
Oh, yeah. I know, right? You weren't expecting all the heavy shit. But guess what? American history is filled with heavy shit.
Yeah.
And you have to discuss it and talk about it.
Yeah.
Today,
that way you understand today better.
Yeah.
Heavy on the edu part of edutainment today.
Yeah.
That's right. Now we're getting to the tainment part.
The tainment.
Yeah.
The ghost tainment.
Get ready for the
Daddy.
tainment. So what was great is I got the chance to... I had to explain to him why...
Yeah.
I wanted to go on a ghost tour.
What?
Yeah, because he's like, that's bullshit. I don't want to go on a ghost tour. That sounds boring. And I'm like, you will be anything but bored. And
We're going to take these mushrooms and then go on the tour.
Right. So the discussion I had to have with him was over a beer, sitting across from the ghost tour headquarters.
Yeah.
Which has 3 or 4 people in Victorian period garb.
I'm already in.
Holding lanterns, smoking a cigarette and obviously talking to each other before
Yeah.
splitting off into their respective walking
I am-
tours.
Yeah, I don't know.
here
She just
for
didn't
it.
respond to me
Yeah.
on Tinder. I just swiped. I sent her a message. I
You
said,
know?
"How are you today?" You know, and
Nothing.
Yeah,
Like, she, let,
fucking
she let me
Philly-
on read, dude. She
Fucking
let me-
Philly trash, just leaving me. Yeah.
So I explained to him, like, the reason I was like, why do you think I want to go on a ghost tour? And he's like, I don't know, to see ghosts.
You
that
like
aren't-"
spooky shit?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I want to go because we've spent the last 3 days doing the main beaten path, like, tours with actual historians and park rangers and stuff. When you go on a ghost tour, you get the best off the wall shit
Yeah.
in whatever city you're in. And
do.
this one didn't disappoint, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
So I made him. I was like, "Look, you're gonna get like fucking 5 to 10 great anecdotes. You're gonna pay $10 to hear them from some rando dressed in period garb
Who will hopefully
will-
deliver
who-
them
in like an over the top fashion." And he's like, "That." He was like, "All right, fine, I'm in." So we go, and like, sure as shit, the guy that delivers the ghost tour for us is dressed in full Civil War regalia and leads us on a walking tour at
Yeah.
like 9 o'clock at night, which in Gettysburg is a small town,
Yeah.
so everything's closed,
Okay.
and except for like some bars, and which are filled with people harassing ghost tour people, which is hilarious.
We're in the dead of night, 9 p.m.
9 p.m. on a Sunday in Gettysburg, being walked around by like a grown man in Civil War garb holding a lantern telling us ghost stories.
Look at me now,
I totally
Dad.
like, look at me. This is why I got my art degree.
Yeah.
Right?
So, who's laughing now, theater major?
Yeah. This guy was probably definitely a theater major.
Oh, yes.
So 100%.
You know, congrats to him.
So
how many people were on the tour?
there was a good 15 people.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
good.
$150 right there.
Nice.
Because we did the cheapo tour
That's-
because I wasn't about to fuck with a 3-hour one.
No,
Nope.
that's probably rent for
Yeah.
Gettysburg. Yeah,
Yeah, I
$150.
imagine.
Why not?
So, but this company also had like 5 going on at the same time in different parts of the town that were
Ah.
just as full.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's actually really, really cool.
right?
Good
and
for them.
This wasn't even in peak season, by the way. This is like an off-season visit that we
What
went
is
to.
peak season for
October 31st. for a
October
ghost tour.
31st for ghost stuff.
Yeah.
Christmas, because they do Victorian Christmas at Gettysburg,
Aw.
which they all dress in period garb and decorate their shops in Victorian Christmas style.
I dig it.
And then obviously
A
the
dead goose
July
in the window.
1st, for, the actual battlefield or battle anniversary, July 1st through 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they actually have a big reenactment there. So
Oh, that'd be fun to go to.
let me touch on some highlights from this.
Yeah.
So stop number 1, the Dobbins Tavern, which is like a tavern you can eat at. It was a $3 or $4 sign on Yelp, so I decided not to go to that place because I figured how good could that place possibly be.
5 only.
Yeah, no,
Right.
no, I'm not about to drop fucking $75 at some shitty tavern.
Yeah,
No,
so I'd like your
yeah.
Victorian burger, and they're like, "Great, we've left it out in the sun for 4 days."
Great.
Yeah.
Just like originally.
So the ghost in this place is
Yeah.
supposedly a young girl that died of like some sort of like yellow fever or something.
That's racist.
Like, just couldn't get enough of them. Her favorite flavor, vanilla. So it's a young girl that dies and is seen in the hallways and then looking out the window. And the cool story for this one is she allegedly alerted another young girl of a comparable age that she had meningitis and woke her up and kept touching her on the neck, which I guess is where meningitis like flares up.
Yeah.
And it made her mother notice that she had an inflammation and was taken to the doctor.
Oh.
And then she was diagnosed with meningitis and was saved.
Right.
So that was a solid anecdote.
That's nice.
Enjoyed that one. The next one,
She is not a ghost.
she prevented. That's preventative ghost right there.
Yep.
Preventative ghost.
Next one
Wow.
was at a place called Servants Old Time Photo, which is a place where you can dress in period garb
Of course.
and get a sepia tone photo taken
Love it.
How is old time spelled?
with a Y. E at the end of old.
Oh,
Yes.
So it's literally just a spice rack, which is, well, this is my old time.
Yeah.
You can use it, I
You got a
guess.
photo of it? I don't know.
So on the front, it's just your fucking photo studio. Obviously, you guys have seen him before.
Oh, yeah.
In the back, there was what is basically was an added kitchen
Mhm.
in the 19th century, but is now a back office. And so, like, the anecdote on this was fucking wild.
Okay.
So there was a Union general killed at the battlefield
Oh no.
named General Reynolds, who got there and told his fiancee that he was going to be at Gettysburg for a while after the battle. This dude gets shot in the neck day one and dies.
My dearest Rebecca, I do
Pretty-
fear that I'm going to be in Gettysburg for quite a while.
Yeah.
I can tell I'm going to be very safe here.
Yeah.
No harm shall befall.
So they pack the dude up on a horse and they ride him back to town.
Okay.
So the battlefield is like maybe half a mile away. Like you could see it from the town.
Wow.
So they throw his body over the back of a horse and they just take him to the first house they come to and they just like stuff him in the kitchen. And they're like, we don't want the fucking Southerners to find him and know he's dead.
Yeah.
So like just keep
so
him
fucking
here.
Weekend at Bernie's him.
Pretty much. And so like they kick in the door and they just throw him on the table.
Yeah.
And the dudes that dropped him off were like, one of them was like, well, you stay here
Yeah.
and guard his body and don't let the people that live here come in their kitchen. And,
Oh.
because it was like a big PR blow.
Yeah.
Because like this is like the highest ranking guy killed on like day one.
I'm actually just imagining this like the steamed hams episode of this.
Right.
What's going on in there?
Aurora
Borealis localized in your kitchen. Yes.
Yes.
May I see
So
No, mother, it's just the morning lights.
unbeknownst to the late now General Reynolds, his fiance was actually en route to find him.
Oh, God.
And visit him as a surprise. So she shows up like day 2 of the battle. Battle's going
Just
on
amidst this.
amidst this, and she's looking for him. And
Well,
like,
anybody
this is
seen
this
my
is
buddy?
As safe as he said it was.
yeah, right. And so like the town's being shelled,
Yeah.
and she's just looking for a fiance.
Right.
So she comes across a guy that's like, "Hey, do you know where my husband General Reynolds is?" Dude doesn't know he's dead.
Yeah.
Because nobody's been told that he's dead.
No. No.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, he's in the house.
He's in the kitchen there.
He's in the kitchen. He's been injured, but he's fine."
Yeah.
So she goes to and like the guard's been there overnight, and his fiance shows up and is like, "I want to see the general."
Yeah.
And the guard's been changed again. Doesn't know that he's actually dead inside because he hasn't been inside. And he's like, "Yeah, he's right on in there.
No.
He got shot, but he's fine."
Oh shit.
So she comes in and the dude's fucking 100%
Yeah.
dead.
Super dead.
Like laying splayed out on a dinner table.
Yeah.
And like just like blood everywhere.
Oh
And
shit.
so she eventually like this like unhinges her and like she has like a mental break from it.
Right.
And then like leaves and is like miserable.
Jeez.
But the ghost story there is that like tourists have seen through the front door of the window and seen like this makeshift hospital scene
Ooh.
like recreated, like in the
Yeah.
present day.
How spooky.
And like you can see his body laying on the table,
That's crazy.
which
Wow.
is super cool. I took a picture there, didn't see it. But
It's just a sheet with a projector behind it.
but I mean it's like it's
Whoa.
you can clearly see that it's an office now
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
the front door when you look in.
Okay.
But they say that it's like full on kitchen, table, body, guy in
Wow.
there like waving his arms frantically, like basically like what the fuck, he's dead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like
Cool.
freaking out. So there's another point on the ghost tour, which is the Fedora or the Kadori farm, which is basically there's a farmer.
the fedora. Farm.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, this is where we grow all of our free-range fedoras. You can
Milady.
see neckbeards from miles away come pick their own.
So there's a farmhouse that was like adjacent to where Pickett's charge happened,
Right.
and so like thousands of men die in Pickett's charge, but even more are wounded.
Okay.
And
We
it's
all
so,
go there.
exactly. So, in the sake of keeping it a quick trip, they turned this dude's house into a field hospital,
Oh, man.
and
Like MASH.
so like they just kick them
MASH.
all out, and they're like, "Look, I'm sorry, we've got injured people streaming in, so
Yeah.
like 20, like give or take 20,000 people over the course of 3 days die on the field. An additional 60,000 die of their wounds
Oh no.
in like the
Damn.
week afterward. So, and then like after that,
Bummer.
like they're still dropping dead weeks afterwards
Yeah.
after like bad surgery and stuff. So,
Infections and everything. That's insane.
yeah.
Mm.
So, basically the field hospital, and we learned this in our tour, if you get shot in the arm or leg with a bullet and it passes through without hitting your bone, you're fine.
Yeah.
If it hits the bone, it shatters the bone,
Mhm.
sending splinters throughout your arm, which will become infected and you'll die from it. So only way to fix it is to cut it off. So basically, his house got turned into an amputation station.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it rhymes and everything.
Right?
amputation station.
Yeah.
Welcome to amputation station.
So they,
Get your hands chopped off.
the dude
At
was doing
amputation station.
one amputation and seal up every 5 minutes
Whoa.
Good
for like
turnover.
a day and a half.
I think it was a
And-
butcher knife style, like just
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ka-chow!
You start with that, then you saw it through the bone.
Ugh.
right.
And then you have to have these little hooks to pull the arteries out and then
Mhm.
seal them.
Right.
And then sew the stump
course.
up, move the fucking guy off, bring in the next guy.
Wow.
So anyway,
That is insane. Like, I know we just made a joke, but as soon
Right.
as I stopped talking, it like set in, and I was like, "Holy crap, that is
Yeah.
unreal."
That would change you.
Oh yeah, the dude like did hundreds of them.
Do you think you became a butcher afterwards? He was
Maybe I don't know. Like
was
you
like,
get
you know
good
All
at
that
it.
meat left over.
Yeah.
So like he does so many that he passes out, and they're like, "You got to wake up, man." And he's like, "You're the only one that knows how to do this."
And he's like,
he
"It's
I know
fucking-
I've been watching you all day long,
Right.
and you're clearly not a physician.
So he like passes out, and he goes like a full like 2 days
right.
just
Chopping
drinking,
off.
chopping limbs, chugging coffee, chopping limbs, and they run out of places to put the limbs
Dropping
because
coffee.
they were just
Chopping
fucking
coffee,
throwing
drinking
them out
limbs.
the windows. Like, oh my God. Yeah, like just, and they got to the point in time where
Could you
like,
imagine getting slapped on the ass and you turn around looking for somebody and it's just a dismembered hand?
how horrible is that?
Oh my
Like,
God.
and it got to the point where like it got so high that he couldn't throw them out the window anymore.
Good God, this is so grim.
So they had to get the
Fuck.
fucking guy that lived there to, and they were like, "Where are we going to put these fucking limbs?"
Hey, Dave,
And
we got another load of arms over here.
the guy didn't say anything, but he had a fucking well on property, and one of the soldiers found the well because he knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
So he didn't say anything. And then one of the guys was like, "There's a well over here,"
Oh.
and they just started chucking him down the
What if
well.
we just toss these limbs into the well?
And the guy was like, "What the fuck? No,
I have to
no, I
drink
live here.
that."
I live here."
My water.
Yeah.
And he's like, your water is fine if it's red, just
It's
like
soup now.
Oh God! So like they just fucking hurl him down this well until it fills up.
what? Jesus fucking
How many guys did you
Christ.
say this was?
This was thousands of guys. Like
So
because
let's-
there's obviously field hospitals
Yeah.
everywhere, but there's hundreds of men.
Right.
Like
Through this
every,
place,
you know,
yeah.
like for the day or two after the battle, they're just getting express amputations.
Oh. So what
And-
if so let's sorry to interrupt. Real
Oh yeah,
quick.
no problem.
So how many limbs do you think it took to fill up the well?
I was just thinking about that.
Because it's what, thousand, let's like 3,000 dudes.
Right.
That's 3,000 arms at least.
That's
At-
like a solid
Somewhere
3
between
feet.
3,000 and 6,000 arms.
And they would do it right at the elbow,
Yeah.
typically, or up at the shoulder, maybe.
So what?
2 feet of arm.
Yeah.
Oof,
I bet
like,
that well filled up pretty quick.
that
Yeah,
imperial
you would-
measurement just screwed with my mind.
That's-
Though. That's about a couple feet's worth of arms.
Yeah, right. But like you would think that a well's pretty deep.
Yeah.
But like
Probably like what, 15 feet?
Now that yeah,
not really. Not
10?
maybe.
now I'm thinking
I
the
don't
well
know.
thing was just a mistake. I mean, how many arms are you going to fit in that thing?
It was probably just a temporary solution.
You have infinite land. Was no one digging?
Not,
could
not,
bury
at the-
'em.
not at that time. They did go back
Oh.
and do that.
No, because
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
had enough arms to dig.
But
Right.
there's basically
Well,
like
what if you?
on this dude's property, there's an arm mass grave
He's
and
an arms
leg
dealer.
mass grave.
And I bet if you. Oh, sorry. Is that the rest of the?
Yeah.
Like if you dig, you would find an arm.
Well, they were digging up bodies for months afterwards, and like they just were like, "Fuck it," I guess, to the arms and legs.
yeah.
And so, like on this property, like he points out like where all the arms and legs are buried,
Oh,
which is super creepy. And basically, like the ghost component to that is that after the battle on the anniversary, a year to the date of the battle,
yeah.
Heard
a
a dismembered
creepy-
clapping.
a creepy fog rolled over the dude's property, and like allegedly, like there was like full blown like apparitions coming to collect their arms and legs.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
That
but
is insane.
isn't that creepy as
That's
shit?
very creepy.
Yeah, and the guy was just like fucking disgusted by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't move.
Didn't move. Died like
This is my house. What didn't you
What the hell
understand
is
about
he
that?
but yeah, like
The hell am I gonna do?
You should see how the corn grows a year later, though. Oh boy.
then there's another place called the Devil's Den. That's a geographic feature. That's just a bunch of rocks.
Yeah.
And you guys have probably seen pictures of that on the battlefield.
Yeah.
But that is like supposedly super haunted because it didn't really have like much. You wouldn't think it would have strategic value,
Mhm.
but then when you look at it in person, you realize that you could actually set up cannons on it and fire up at this mountain.
Right.
So the South really wanted to take it.
Yeah.
And there's allegedly like a ghost that haunts that in
Mhm.
full Texas regalia who
Yeah.
points to something off in the distance and says, "That's where you're looking to get to." And is like a repeated like thing.
I've read that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good job, Bob, the ghost tour guy. That was actually his name.
Oh, nice.
Ghost
Good
tour
job, Bob.
is what he called himself.
GTB.
Nice.
Then we hit on the fucking cemetery, which is great. That's actually where the Gettysburg Address was delivered.
Nice.
I didn't realize this until going there, but the Gettysburg Address was basically about the reinternment of the Union dead.
Wow.
So, like right after the battle, they bought all the land around the existing cemetery and turned it into like a war dead cemetery.
Okay.
So it's enormous.
I also didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently super haunted. There's
Yeah, I
a
bet.
man with a long gray beard seen standing over a grave. And basically, this is a guy that was told to hold the Union left flank in a small cavalry battle after, like on day 3, like
Yeah.
right as the battle was ending. Dude ignores the order and leads a charge, which breaks the Confederate ranks.
Yeah.
So he actually wins the battle that he was fighting in.
Oh.
But because he disobeyed order, he was court-martialed
Oh.
and kicked out of he was kicked out of being an officer.
Dang.
So he was actually denied a Medal of Honor, even though because he was court-martialed. Later in life, park rangers rediscovered his story and petitioned the U.S. government in the 80s and got his Medal of Honor reinstated.
Nice.
So his ghost disappears after that.
Oh.
So like it's like
Oh.
a wrong that it's
Ooh.
now been made right.
Yeah.
And then last good one was we walked across an alleyway in the city, and the guy's like, "All right, so everybody be quiet." And we get quiet, and you can hear audible running water. So he's like, during the battlefield,
Like a faucet running water or like
a creek.
Okay.
He's like, during the battle, this was a creek, and we're like, whoa. And he's like, that running water you hear is actually the creek itself that's now been paved over.
Oh.
And we're like, whoa, wild. And this was the moment I was waiting for my dad to see why fucking ghost tours are amazing.
Yeah.
And my dad's like fucking eating this up. He's like, oh, wow, I would have never known that. And
There was water here? Shit.
yeah. And he points over and he's like, so the Confederates held this for like a solid hour as a trench fighting in this creek. And they just get mowed down by cannon fire.
Fuck.
And he points down to the end of the lane and he says, so you see where that like placard is? There was a tree there during the battle, which marked like the edge of the creek. And so many guys died in this creek that they actually blocked it up.
Oh my god!
And
They
it-
dammed up the
They
creek
dammed
with their
up,
bodies.
yeah, and
That's
it
grim.
flooded the lower part of the city. And he said the worst part about it is that there was
Not all the
injured.
dead people.
Not all the. Well, there was a bunch of injured guys.
Property values.
There's a bunch of injured soldiers in it
Yeah.
that were like, "Get me out of here!"
Oh my
And
god.
As the water rose, drowned all.
Oh,
Oh,
And
no.
You're right. That is worse.
Yeah, and they were like they were like Confederate and Union guys all in here,
Yeah.
and like nobody could stop to help them because the battle's still going on.
Yeah.
As the creek is rising because the dead have clogged it, and so it drowns everybody that's injured in it, and then all the bodies get stuck in like a bunch of the bodies get stuck in this tree because of how
Yeah.
the creek
Oh my
rose.
god.
And like a day or two after the battle, they're like, where the fuck is all this water coming from? And they trace it back to the source, which is basically a tree covered in bloated, drowned corpses.
Oh. Oh,
And so they had to
fuck.
cut the tree down and then dig all the bodies out,
Yeah.
and it made the water recede finally.
Oh, thank goodness.
And that was the moment that I was waiting for my dad to be like, holy shit, ghost tours are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because we'd have never gotten that story
Right.
without going on the ghost tour.
Yeah. Oh man,
That's so crazy.
that is.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a killer ghost tour.
It was the
Ha.
fucking
God
best
damn it.
$20 I've spent in a long time.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
if you guys are in Gettysburg, do the tours.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
Yeah. Man.
I'm
Any-
all about it. I
Any,
think we're gonna have to go do a GFY
Yeah.
ghost story.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, concerns,
That's-
ghost
I
tour
did-
related questions I could answer for
I know
you?
normally this is where we would start picking apart stories and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. I can't
There's
pick any
so
of that
much
apart.
in there, and like even if it's 100% grade A hokum, I
Right.
don't care.
Me
Yeah.
neither. It's
Me
too
neither,
fun. Yeah, it's just too good.
It's I've never the stories the guy is telling, I hadn't comprehended just how many just the sheer amount of bodies.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You know.
They were, and he told us some good anecdotes about like people that were bidding on government contracts to go like
Mhm.
disinter and reinter the dead,
Yeah.
and basically they got him down to like 60 cents a body.
Fuck.
And basically they shafted the guy.
Oh.
Yeah, because they said that you could not have done that. There was not that many people that died here
Yeah.
when they gave him the bill, and the guy was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like, look at the fucking graves."
Yeah. Yeah.
and
absolutely.
so they lowballed him on his already lowball offer,
Damn.
Unbelievable.
and so he left a bunch of them just fucking wherever he wanted.
Yeah.
And was just like, well, I'm not going to tell you where they are till you pay me. And they were like, well, I guess it's good enough.
Oh.
Are they in the ground?
Yeah.
Here.
Oh shit, that adds to the
Yeah, so like the whole city is just littered with the dead. And like if you were to do like an archaeological dig on the ground,
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
there would be human remains all over that city, and
Yeah.
all over the battlefield. Because like
to this
for-
day, yeah.
Because you got to think too, like 20,000 guys died over like 3 or 4 days.
right.
Twice that number of horses died
Yeah.
because they were the ones pulling all the wagons and cannons.
Oh man.
And like a big part of the battle strategy is to fucking shell them
Mhm.
so that they can't move their shit around.
Yeah. Yeah. God, that's wild.
Yeah.
Man, I bet Gettysburg is haunted as shit.
It felt haunted as shit.
Yeah.
And uplifting and depressing and
Yeah.
morbid and
Morbid's
exciting.
a good word for
like
it.
all
I
at
think
the same
exciting
time.
is the word that really encapsulates what I'm thinking right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, even if the ghost story is garbage, right?
right.
Right.
Like, think of the amount of people that have gone through, taken those kind of tours for a relatively low amount of money,
Right.
and gotten to learn the stories that they never would have listened to before.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Oh, yeah.
ghost tours are wonderful edutainment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked the guy if he'd be interviewed for our show, and he said he wasn't allowed to.
Oh
Damn.
man.
So, fuck
Well.
you, Bob. Come on, man.
Bob sounded cool. We'll fuck Bob's boss.
Yeah, fuck Bob's boss for
Bob's
not letting him do
boss.
what he wants.
Fucking Bob's boss.
He's like, oh, sorry, we got a lot of people from the press trying to get in here. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. Sure.
Yeah, to encroach
Yes.
on your territory.
Yeah, is there breaking news at Gettysburg?
No.
This just in, a bunch of people died at Gettysburg.
in the 19th century.
This is brought to you by the Late News Network. Coming up next, typhoid?
It's too good.
Typhoid?
But yeah, I thought there was a lot of good content in that.
Yeah.
It was
that's
like
incredible.
A weird up and down sensation, weird family tension, weird
Yeah.
like
There's a lot there.
yeah.
Yeah, damn.
It was the best vacation I've been on in a long time.
No,
Yeah.
10 out of 10, I would bankroll this for more episodes
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot to unpack
from the
there.
Patreon, which
Yeah.
you can find us on Patreon to hear more stories like this.
Yeah.
Nice. That was a good.
Nice. nice.
That was a good one.
Nice little
All
segment.
right, I have nothing. I have nothing to add. I'm not going to try to
No,
top
yeah.
any of that.
Okay.
That was a really, really good story. Like, I want to let it stand on its own.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can do some more Civil War related stuff if our listeners like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a
definitely.
ton to unpack there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gettysburg is just, though it is the most famous, I would think.
Right. Absolutely.
There's a
Famous.
shitload of other
Oh yeah. There's
Civil War battles with
a
similar.
bunch of them. I mean, it was like what 4 or 5 years of
Yeah,
battles.
I think 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was a harrowing experience.
Yeah.
Being there and like experiencing it in person. If you live in America and can travel to this, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Is
Just
it?
put Gettysburg in your maps device. It'll tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's not expensive, by the way. It's super cheap to do all this stuff.
yeah. Well, it's free. It would be free, wouldn't it?
The museum's like $10.
Oh, okay.
To do a tour with the historian on site from the museum is like $20.
Okay.
A ghost tour is $10.
That's nothing.
Parking's free.
What?
It's an auto tour that's free. Do the tour with the historian park ranger first,
Yeah.
then do the auto tour,
Yeah.
and you'll get the full ass experience.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm always going for.
The
Nice.
full ass experience.
And that's what I think we deliver here on
Yeah.
Go Folk
A
Yourself.
full ass experience.
Full ass folklore, ghost story, history,
Yeah.
End-to-end
extravaganza.
folklore.
End-to-end holistic approach to your
Yep.
American folklore.
That's right.
You like those business terms?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So-
Synergy.
Yeah. So if you like what we do here, go check out our social media shit. We've got a plug that's got all of them in it, which we're about to let you hear because I can't remember them all.
It's right. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here it
Victor,
is.
play it out.
Victor Boom.
Hey guys, this is Brett from Go Folk Yourself. If you like what you hear, please follow us on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or whatever. I don't know what other podcast app that are out there because I don't use them. By the way, we're also on Patreon. So if you like what you hear, give us as little as $1 a month to join our Discord chat where we'll be posting some, I think the kids call them dank memes. I'm not really sure what that means. Memes? I don't know. What was I doing?